Culture, food, weather, crime, affordability. These are the things we're going to go through today in our pros and cons list of living in Memphis, Tennessee. I moved my family across the country from the Seattle market to a suburb here, and we are absolutely loving it. So there is a little bit of a skewed slant to this, but I will get as truthful as I possibly can. If you are considering a move to the Memphis area, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My number is on the screen and in the description below. Without further ado, let's hop straight into the first one, which is culture. Now, culture is a very hard thing to pinpoint, but what I can tell you is it is a culture of friendship and being absolutely nice. Every single person is going to be friendly to you. They might not have the best driving skills, they might be mean on the road, but if you're actually talking to somebody, they will be absolutely friendly, they will be kind, they will be respectful. This is a place where people will still say, yes sir, no ma'am, please, thank you, and all of the niceties, which is really just something to enjoy if you're not used to it. If you are trying to get connected into the community, there's lots of ways to do that, with Memphis in May being one of the largest ones. We have a Beale Street Festival, the World Championship Barbecue, we have all sorts of things like community fun runs, and you name it, it all exists. Live music, festivals, and the list goes on and on. We do have local sports teams that are huge in the area. People love the Memphis Tigers, which is the college team, and of course we have the Memphis Grizzlies NBA team as well, which is a huge draw. People absolutely love going to the games, and there is a culture all around that in and of itself. So if you're trying to get connected to an amazing community where people are nice to each other and there's amazing things to do to connect to that community, this I'm going to put in the pros column. Absolutely. I also told you we're going to address food here, and I'm going to say that this one has to go in the pro column as well. This is a place where if you're trying to get the best barbecue, arguably, in the country, you want to come here to Memphis. It's a very specific style of barbecue, and that's why they actually hold the World Championship barbecue competition right here in our backyards. If that's something that you want to test out, I would absolutely go. It's like a party in every single booth, and the food is absolutely phenomenal. People fly in all across the country and sometimes out of country just to come to this competition, and again, the food is absolutely great. There are lots of local restaurants that are really, really high end. If you're here and you're visiting and you're trying to find an amazing place, I would suggest Porch and Parlor, Southern Social, or even Flight. They're actually all owned by the same company, but with different concepts of eating. Some of them have, for example, Flight is a flight-style dinner course menu. I actually went there on my most recent birthday, and what they do is they give you 3 things of everything. If you want a entree, they're going to give you 3 different entrees. They're going to give you 3 different drinks. They're going to give you 3 different desserts, and they are all absolutely cooked to perfection. And a really cool fun fact about that restaurant, which is called Flight, it was actually converted from a previous jewelry store made in the 1800s. So there is so much culture behind this community, with amazing places that you can visit where MLK was, Elvis Presley's Graceland. There is a lot of history here. Weather is absolutely going to go into the pro list as well. If you're a person that's a fan of 4 seasons, you're going to love the Memphis market, unless you don't like humidity. If you do not like humidity in your heat, yeah, I'm going to have to put it in the cons column. It just depends on what you prefer, but it does get very hot in the summer, and in the fall and spring, it's basically perfect. And in the winter, it does get a little bit chilly with not that much snow hitting the ground. I'm going to say it's less than 6 inches of snow throughout a given year, and from my time here, it really hasn't gotten very thick or lasted very long at all. If you want to see the sun for more than 220 days out of the year, this is going to be an amazing place for you without having to live inside of a desert. There's lots of trees, and that's coming from a person that actually used to live in Washington State. It is absolutely full of critters, wildlife, and places to go hiking, boating, fishing, hunting, you name it. It's all here because of the distinct four seasons that we get. If that's interesting and appealing to you, absolutely in the pro column. If the heat and the humidity, by the way, it does get hot, I would say probably for a month or so every single year, when you walk out the door, you will feel like you need to take a shower again because it is that humid. But outside of that, it goes in the pro list. If that's a concern for you, throw it in the cons list. It would definitely be something to consider. The first pretty obvious con to this area is going to be the crime. I'm going to put that in the con column for now, because if you look up Memphis in any capacity, you're going to find out that it is one of the most dangerous cities in the entire country. That being said, it's a little bit of a misnomer because almost all of that danger comes in about 3 pocketed areas, and the rest of it is really pretty safe. If you go to the suburbs on the outer band of Greater Memphis, in other words, Millington, Lakeland, Arlington, Eads, Collierville, Germantown, all of those places on the eastern and northern sides of the suburb of Greater Memphis are actually some of the safest places in the country, which is really kind of strange because all of that crime is fairly well contained into that downtown core. So if you avoid that, it's not really a con, but it's definitely something to consider because when you tell people you live in Memphis, they will think, wow, how do you live with all that crime? I'll tell you right now, I have not experienced any whatsoever, and I've been here for a little while now, and the most I've actually even heard of is somebody getting their car broken into at a mall. So it's not as bad as the publications and the news might have you believe, but it is a little bit of a stigma on the city, and I don't see that going away very soon until Elon's XAI comes in and gentrifies some of the area a little bit more, and maybe if the police in downtown Memphis start cracking down and enforcing the laws a little bit better, maybe that would reduce some of the crime. But we are where we are today. It's definitely something to consider. If you have any really nice cars, I would suggest switching it up to kind of blend into the areas and surroundings so that you're not going to have any carjackings or thefts of your car or just of the stuff in your car. It's just going to make it substantially less likely. Maybe that's part of why I've never experienced anything at all. From an affordability perspective, I have to tell you this is one of the absolute cheapest places in the entire country to live. It is very rare to find somebody who is homeless because shelter, homes, and even buying homes is so dang affordable. There's no state income tax, property taxes are relatively low, and you can still get properties for really inexpensive compared to the national average. The national average home price today is about $415,000. In Memphis, you can get properties even as low as 200, 250, 300, and depending on if you're going to a suburb or not, you can keep things. I helped somebody buy a house this year for $200,000. Another person buy for $175,000, and that is not an uncommon occurrence. Just know if you're seeing the prices and they're really low in a specific area, it's probably because there's a little bit more crime in that area. So when you go out to those suburbs that don't have the crime and they're a little bit more new built, so in other words, all of the new convenience stores, all of the shopping, all of the grocery stores, all of the fast food restaurants and restaurants are all newer commercial construction. Those areas are going to be more expensive. You're not gonna find a house for $300,000 over there. It's going to be quite a bit more expensive, but that's because those areas are so desirable to be. So I would say, if you're looking at a place that's drastically affordable, very low taxes, and even can give you gas consistently under $3 and oftentimes in the low $2 per gallon, this is gonna be a place you absolutely want to check out. So I'm gonna put affordability in the pro column, and I'm gonna put an extra asterisk on this one. If you're a person that wants to look for investment properties, this is an amazing market for it because you can buy a property and rent it out at almost a 10 cap or a 10% recapitalization rate on your cash every single year. And what I can tell you is that is bonkers. The ability to find that in a regular single family home is not really findable throughout the country. So this is an amazing place to look at if you're trying to live here and invest here as well. Again, my name is Garth Ward. I've helped people for over 12 years buy and sell homes. I've helped over $1 billion worth of real estate get traded, and I would love to help you on your journey. Reach out to me through my phone number on the screen and in the description section below. I look forward to seeing you on the next video and hopefully helping you on your next home purchase or home selling journey.